Good morning, and welcome to episode 156 of Getting Rich. I'm your host, Rich Checkan, president of Asset Strategies International, and today is Wednesday, January 10th, 2024. First off, I'd like to thank everybody that joined us late last night for our first webinar, the first of 6 webinars we're going to have this year. Adrian Day and I were happy to host none other than the investment biker and adventure capitalist, Jim Rogers, for what I thought was a spirited discussion with a lot of wonderful questions. So thank you. We look forward to you joining us again the end of March for our second webinar where we will host Lobo Tigre. So bring all your resource stock questions to that webinar. Information will be coming out shortly. On the news front, former President Trump continues to fight myriad legal battles and attempts to block him at the ballot box. On the flip side, the Republicans are continuing with plans for impeachment on impropriety of current President Biden and Mayorkas regarding his handling of the border crisis. Amidst that background, our contentious election year gets underway, and we've got our first act in this drama playing out with the budget shutdown deadline of January 19th looming close on the horizon. We're just about a week and a half away from that first major issue of the year, but as you can imagine, we could use some good news, and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen supplied us with that good news last Friday. She did an interview with CNN, covered by Bloomberg, and basically she came out and said, hey, what we're seeing right now looks like a soft landing, and I hope it continues. So thank you, Janet, for bringing us into a soft landing. She went on to say that the middle class is making great strides forward, that wages are outpacing inflation, and I don't know where she is living. I don't know what economy she's looking at, but thanks for the good news. The only problem is none of it is true. Let's take a look at some of the numbers, and I'll get back to that here in a second. This week, gold is down 0.7% to $2,033.80 an ounce. It was $2,047.90 last week. Silver's down 1.3% to $23.02 an ounce. It was $23.33 last week. Platinum down 4.2%. It's trading at $938 this week. It was $979 an ounce last week. And palladium down 6.8% to $1,016 an ounce. Last week it was $1,090 an ounce. With gold falling slower than silver, the number of ounces of silver it takes to buy an ounce of gold, your gold-silver ratio, is up this week to 88.68. It was 88.11 last week. And the dollar pretty much held firm. It's up 1 penny. It's at 102.46. It was 102.45 last week. So obviously we have people looking at this economy through different lenses. I'm looking through the lenses where I see middle class struggling. They've been put in a bad position. They cannot tap into their ATMs. Inflation is on the rise. They've been running up their credit cards, depleting their savings. Now they have maxed out credit cards at 20+% interest rates that they're not going to be able to pay off. They're going to in any sort of short amount of time. More people are carrying balances now than they were in the past. And all this, I think, is just to cover needs. This is not about wants, folks. This is about needs. And Secretary Yellen looks at this and says, hey, the middle class is doing great. The economy is wonderful. I don't know where she's coming from. So if you look at it in her lenses, then there's no reason to do anything with gold and silver. Just keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, good times are rolling on. If you see it the way I do, I think it's time to take some steps to prepare. Our guest last night, Jim Rogers, left us with some kind of grave parting thoughts. He said, "Be careful, be very careful about the impending downfall that follows decades worth of prosperity. He wants us to be prepared. I think the best way to do that is with gold and silver. Silver prices, as he said last night, are 60% below all-time highs. Incredible opportunity there. And gold, a lot of people think it's expensive. I think we're starting the next leg up, and this is going to be cheap. As always, we'd like you to go ahead and subscribe to us on the YouTube channel, like us, send us your comments and questions, subscribe to our social media for asset strategies, get our twice weekly Always Something Interesting alerts, get our once monthly newsletters information line. The next one for January comes out tomorrow. But don't ever forget that getting rich starts with keeping what's yours.